Hey everybody, welcome to Killing Time. This is the show that searches for entertainment that does not suck and also refuses to update the killingtime.tv page. So go to youtube.com/finitecomedy because I really got to get on that. Sorry about that, guys. I'm Aya's actor alongside the one, the only, the J alligator roll. I'll eat one and order a dragon roll on top of it just to mock you. B. How's it going?
It's going good. How you doing?
You've gotten. I have now given you a nickname between your nicknames. So you've got a meta nickname. That's very strange. So I've refused to watch Inhumans because I tried to watch Inhumans. You know how we talked about this whole thing of we're going to watch things that suck.
How far did you get?
I got
10 minutes in? 15?
I got about 8 minutes in.
8? Oh, man, I would have put money on 10. Yeah, damn.
I really tried to watch this thing, and the pacing is really slow, and thankfully, thanks to an extension on Chrome and Firefox called, I believe it's called Video Controller or Video Speed Controller, it lets me speed things up. And even though this was sped up, 8 minutes of Inhumans was unbearable. Now, I'll try it again because I'm committed to this and the whole Marvel universe on every freaking thing possible. But today, we're talking about Runaways, the Hulu original Marvel show, because it's got to be somewhere else. Can you explain the concept of the Runaways?
The concept of the Runaways. Okay, we have this group of friends, or actually ex-friends, they've now grown apart, that are the kids of these parents who are almost like I want to say a group cult type thing that's kind of secretive and whatnot. And so we have these kids that are drawn back together because their parents are still together in this cult thing, and they're starting to figure out their parents aren't quite on the up and up with this whole thing, and something's going on really weird. And that's pretty much how the first episode goes. And we take it from there.
Yeah, so we're not going to give away anything yet. We're going to have a spoiler section. We'll get to that. The show's basically a teen drama, but not like a CW teen drama where you've got a lot of angst, and you got little angst in this, but it's got just a kind of like a Stranger Things kind of vibe, and the amount of angst, there's some there.
Yeah.
But it's not like, it doesn't really overpower the show. It doesn't have the levity of Flash Season 1 or Flash Season 4. It's kind of, I can't think of what I would compare this to because it's kind of vanilla at times. Do you have any comparison?
It's not as dark, but 13 Reasons Why kind of high school dynamic, all these people trying to deal with the coming of age crap that they have to deal with while dealing with their parents and everything else. And some people find out new things about themselves through the first couple episodes. And I don't know, it's teenage dynamics, but not in a hokey kind of, Disney or Nickelodeon type way.
Yeah, 13 Reasons Why is actually a pretty good comparison then, because apart from the darkness of that, this is pretty close. Like if that's like a 5 on the scale of 0 to 5 scale, this would be about a 3, 4, 3.5 kind of dark kind of show. It's on Hulu right now. They released, I think, the first 3 episodes on one day. Then it's weekly on Tuesdays. We're recording this on a Tuesday. We've seen, I believe, the first 4 episodes.
Yep.
Right. All right. Shall we get into the spoiler side of this?
Well, before we do that, do you like the show? I mean, you've watched 4 episodes. Did you have to force yourself to watch 4 episodes, or did you find yourself wanting to see what happened?
Well, I find the pacing a little slow, and the acting is good. And there's Spike from Buffy. He's playing He's playing a dad in the show, and I find that immediately interesting just to see him in any role because I haven't seen him in a long time on television. So he's pretty funny, or not funny. It's funny to see him in this role. And then you've got some people I recognize from the show 24, so the actors are familiar, and that's fine. Yeah. But like I was saying, the dynamic, because it's got this lack of levity, and it's not super dark, it's this kind of middle thing that it's all right to watch, and this part will spoil part of it, so look out for this. I watched the show at about 1.3 speed with that video speed controller thing. I think that is a much better pacing because there's a lot of lingering shots, a lot of long waits, and it just feels a little slow to me. So I don't mind watching it, but I like having control over how the pacing is because it's just a little slow.
To build on that, I feel like they're unnecessarily expanding things to try and build drama. Like you said, a lot of pauses, a lot of dramatic shots on people's faces and things like this. I mean, they're trying to make things seem more important than they actually are. I see what they're trying to do. It's not always necessary. I mean, the story's interesting enough. They could just move a little faster through it. Like, I'm guessing towards the end of the season, they could have cut this down from, 10 episodes to 8 and not really lost much of it.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of establishing shots, and you need to know what's going on, and a false amount of drama. You don't need this much drama. We get the idea these kids are in danger, or are they? They're trying to figure out, are their parents coming after them or not? What's this whole thing about? Maybe, and they're really hoping they're wrong, but the more and more they find out as things go along, the parents, I mean, that's part of the tagline. What happens when you find out your parents are actually evil? These people are pretty evil.
Yeah.
So now, spoiler time?
Spoilers.
Okay,
Let's
cool.
spoilers.
Finally get to use
Let's do it.
bumper. Here it comes.
Let's do it.
Made that spoiler warning a couple of weeks ago. Very excited about using it for the first time ever.
I like it.
Can't wait to hear the actual music of it, because Rob cannot hear the music that comes through this, at least through this program. But anyway, this show, Runaways, is based on a Marvel comic by the same name. I've not read that comic book, unfortunately.
I have. I've read the early run of it. I didn't read the whole thing, but I am familiar with it.
So how does this show compare to the comic book?
There's some definite changes. That some are really big, like they in the show they kill off the Molly Hernandez characters. Her parents are dead. Not so in the comic book. And she's also, I think, much younger in the comic book. She's more like 11 years old, and she's still the one with the powers and everything like that.
The strength powers.
The strength powers, correct. Yeah, little things like that. I don't remember any huge differences. I'm sure there's a ton of sites online that say exactly what the differences are, but I felt like the theme was the same. These parents, they're doing something weird and evil. These kids are coming into their own, finding some of them have powers, some of them have just, basic intelligence gifts, or, able to build cool hand punchy things, and we have this weird alien thing going on. And so, yeah, it's close to the comic.
Yeah, it feels like they're mutants, but they're not mutants, and they can't say they're mutants, but they're mutants.
They can't say they're mutants, right? Because not a Fox property.
Yeah, what have you heard about the news lately? Looks like that's going to be...
Looks like it's going to be Disney property.
Yeah, as of Thursday, that's the rumor from CNBC. They said that Disney will buy a bunch of Fox assets, which should include the Fox Marvel stuff, which is X-Men, Fantastic Four, and that means all mutants would be back to Disney. So you can have a Wolverine, or you could just call somebody a mutant. You're going to be like, Scarlet Witch is special. How is she special? She's special.
She's special, and so's her brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somehow they were born with abilities. But either way, the show has, like I said before, the pacing is really slow. Everyone conveniently has powers or is a super genius of some kind. The jock character, Chase, I think his name is, he's really good with building those gauntlets with his dad, which comes in really handy. There's a lot of convenience on this show.
Yeah. But its source material was just like that. Okay. It was like, oh, you need to be super strong. You're super strong. Oh, but then you get tired. That's okay. It's a trade-off.
Well, see,
it was. I always felt like I read this book when I was in my, I think, late 20s, or it might have been early 30s, and I felt like it was geared toward a much younger audience.
Yeah. And
that might be what's going on with this show too.
Let's talk about something that's been bugging me for a while. Now, I haven't watched episode 5, which, like I said, aired today. The show's called Runaways. Ain't nobody ran away yet. Except maybe in the first episode, there's like one girl who shows up, but she's not part of the group.
The Runaways refer to the 15 people who've been killed in the past years that were Runaways.
That's it?
Yeah.
I was thinking these kids would leave their parents and try to, form anti-Pride, because Pride is the name of the evil organization that this group belongs to, which is a little strange as a name. I would think you'd want to go somewhere else with that, because there's a very famous Pride, but I'm not really sure what's going on with this. There is a lot of mystery for the sake of mysteries. Like, how does the pods work? There's one pod here, and there's another pod here, and there's a transfer of some kind, and we're not going to explain anything to you.
Yeah, with the guy from what was it, Nip Tuck come from? I mean, geez.
When I'm like, Spike's over there too? No, wait, no, that's Julian.
That's Julian from Nip Tuck.
Nip Tuck, who looks similar enough, who is Dr. Doom in Fox
right.
Marvel.
That's right.
If the ones that have been eradicated from the brains of all, the ones where Johnny Storm is played by Chris Evans.
But you know what? Watch the most recent Fantastic Four, and those ones look better.
Yeah. You know, I didn't think Fantastic Four 2 was so bad. Mostly because the Silver Surfer.
The Silver Surfer? Yeah.
Yeah, he was fun. Galactus was a giant cloud, which, okay.
That was a big issue, yeah.
I will pretend that Galactus is such a concept that human beings cannot fathom what they're seeing. So this is the closest thing their eyes can resolve. They're like, it looks this thing, it's blocking out. So maybe it's just really dark behind him. There's like it's dark in front of him. Like he's got backlit. Can't tell.
Yeah.
It's a giant man on a purple helmet. But I digress. Because Runaways does not have a man with a giant helmet.
No, they haven't gone that. It stays pretty close to home.
So I don't know if I would recommend watching the show. I definitely don't think you need it at all to enjoy the greater Marvel universe on television. If you're watching something like Jessica Jones.
I don't think it adds anything to any of those shows. But if you're interested in a teen angst, gang up with some mutant powers thrown on the side, sure, give it a watch.
Yeah, Glowy Girl is Jubilee. So
Yep, let's go with that. Yeah.
Let's go through the powers real fast. There's in the first episode, I was taking notes because I wanted to really understand this show, and they don't introduce the character names right away. There's a long time for like, it's Carolina. She's the girl with the glowy powers.
Nico. Nico. Oh, the other thing that's different from the comic, Nico didn't have a sister who was dead. I don't know where that came from. That's a big part of the show, and that wasn't in the I don't remember that being in the comic book.
Well, you said the book was written towards younger people.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Yeah.
Why not fix it up for television? That's the thing. Like, you could either be completely stuck to the source material, or you go, that doesn't really work for the television.
No, but I actually like the sister dead thing. It explains more and kind of gives it more of a mystery to it.
Let it be known that Bob has multiple sisters. I have one, and he said he likes sisters dead.
What? Those words were never spoken.
We got to put that stuff out of context. And you know who else will enjoy that out of context stuff is definitely our patrons who are still with us after the weird changes at Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/IAS, you can support this show. We're working on a whole bunch of other stuff. If you notice, I got a mic arm now, which is different. Let me thank our 4 patrons that are still with us, even with the changes. We got Joe Goulard, whose name I always butcher. I apologize. Michelle Sergiu, Paul Dow, and Alan Char, who are still there. You guys have been there for such a long time. If you want a video credit, go to patreon.com/IAS, and you could pledge a certain amount of money, and that's changed the way things work at Patreon. Let me really quickly explain that. Now, it used to be that if you pledged $5 to the show, you would be charged $5, and then Patreon would take a cut of theirs, and then the creators would receive the rest of it. Now, if you want to pay $5, you have to pay $5.35 or an extra fee. So then the remainder, Patreon takes its bit, and then they give more of the money back to the creator. So it's a weird shift, and not a lot of people like it. A lot of patrons have been leaving shows of friends of mine because of it, and it's totally fine if you guys hey, you can't pay for this much. You can adjust your pledges. I guess I can change up what are those things called? The pledge amounts, whatever. I'll change it up to match up something that makes more sense. So we'll see how that works out. Thanks for sticking it out so far, guys, and really appreciate it so far. See?
Yes. Thank you. Mic arm. Thank you.
This is awesome. I have a mic arm again. Found it cheap. Anyway, like we were saying, Runaways, I don't think you need to watch it for any of the greater Marvel stuff.
I'd just like to make one note. Much better than Inhumans, though. Much, much, much better than Inhumans. That's not saying much, but I just want to say that.
Well, it has to. Yeah, I guess I got past 8 minutes on this one. So I will say it's all right. Also, I will say the first episode, like I said, it was a bit slow. It does make you curious as to what's going to happen on this, but then as we keep moving, it doesn't hasten the pace, and that's kind of troublesome. In the 4 episodes, I think that could be easily shrunk down to 3 with no problem. They are going slow. Maybe they're building up to something great, but right now it's kind of all right, let's get this going. But they're afforded the opportunity to have this. But then again, I'm really curious because this is Hulu. This is not Netflix in the binge sense. They give you this stuff once a week, and I don't know if it has the hook to make me come back week to week. Does that work for you?
Yeah, I think it would be better as a binge because if you could watch the next episode right away, you might. But having to wait a week in between each, it really needs more to get you into it.
Or it could be like Mad Men, where you'd watch it for that one Sunday, and you're like, nothing happened in this hour, but the last 3 minutes seem really interesting. I'll come back next week again, even though I'm like, this made no sense.
And then every once in a while, they throw an amazing episode in.
Basically like the Walking Dead syndrome, where it's just like...
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Walking Dead, I watched 9 episodes that absolutely nothing interesting happens, and then, oh my God, what the hell did they there do? Yeah.
Anyway, so on the continuity there, Mad Men is greater than Runaways, which is greater than Walking Dead? No, probably Walking Dead in the middle right now.
Yeah, Walking Dead in the middle. Yeah, I put Mad Men above Walking Dead, and then Runaways below both.
All right, that does it for us. We'll see everybody next time on KillingTime.tv.